Hey y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood therapist. And listen, in today's race relations and race education and race history post, I have a few questions for y'all because of certain things that do get said in comment sections whenever we talk about anything that might possibly have race involved, which is everything. As much as you can say that race isn't a part of things anymore, that's not true simply because race was created to always be a part of things. So there's that. But here's a question. I keep consistently seeing the comments that say, y'all play perpetual victim in reference to Black Americans. Y'all always play victim. You always bring up slavery. You always bring up things that happened eons and eons ago as if 160 years is just so long ago. That's not that many generations. There are people living today, elderly people, whose great grandparents were in slavery. Now, that being said, y'all tell us to get over it. Y'all tell us we are playing perpetual victim. And my question is, and some might take offense to this, but I don't care because my intent is not to offend. My intent is to make you think, to really think about things you say. Would you ever tell any Jewish person to get over the Holocaust? Would you ever tell any Jewish person that they play perpetual victim because they continue to talk about it? I will never forget reading The Diary of Anne Frank when I was in elementary school. I will never forget watching Schindler's List. Those are things I will never forget. And therefore, I would never disrespect any Jewish person by saying anything like that. But for some reason, people think it's okay to say it to Black people. Then there was a comment that said, well, every cultural group, every people group, no matter the race and ethnicity, has experienced slavery both as enslaver and enslaved. True. But do you realize that there in recorded history, there is no form or type of slavery anywhere that compares to the chattel slavery in the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade? None. None. You can't find one. You cannot find one scholar to tell you that any of the other forms of slavery or slavery anywhere were like that. So when you minimize that and make it seem like, oh, it's just like everything else, no, it was not. It absolutely was not for various reasons. Then y'all love to act like the remnants of slavery don't still exist. They have always existed. When slavery ended, you went into the Reconstruction period, and then you went into different periods all the way through to Jim Crow and civil rights. The remnants of that mindset still exist because that mindset still exists. This administration is proof of that. This administration has said that systemic racism doesn't exist. How? How not? But the remnants of it. Some of us, especially people who have family in the South, you can look at where your grandparents lived to show you the remnants of slavery and segregation. My husband's family, both sides of his family, are from a small town in South Carolina. In that small town, the white side of town and the black side of town are still separated by the train tracks. Oh, okay, but how you going to explain something like that away to say that none of this still happens or is still happening or are the remnants of what was once happening? A client of mine, she's originally from Mississippi. She informed me that there was a death in her family and that the white citizens of that town have a white funeral home and the black citizens have a black funeral home. And everybody knows you cannot go to the other funeral home. There is a First Baptist church and a Second Baptist church. The first is for the white citizens of that town, and the second is for the black citizens, still in 2025. So you cannot continue to say that we are being perpetual victim or we are bringing up things of old when things still exist. How does that work? How do you explain away what still exists? And you could say that that's just in small little country back road hick towns. You could do that, but that's not true. Chicago, how Chicago is set up right now to this day is because of redlining. Now, can people live wherever they want? Yes, but there are consequences to that and ramifications, such as driving into your neighborhood and being told you don't belong here, which we have seen happen this year, last year, and all the years prior. So, yeah, I just wonder y'all get off saying that we play perpetual victim and we are harping on the past and hanging on to it when literally the ramifications from it still exist. Slavery ended 160 years ago. The civil rights movement, people still are alive, well, kicking, and some people working who grew up during the civil rights movement. So I'm just trying to figure out where y'all come off with that mindset. And again, I ask, and this is always going to be the most pertinent question: why are Black Americans the only people group told that they need to get over it? They need to get past it. They need to forget. Mind you, other people groups that atrocities have happened to, they've received reparations and such. We have not. Even those that can prove that they are the descendants of slaves have not. So, yeah, again, I say, why are we the only group that is always told to get over it, get past it, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bootstraps that don't exist? Because when you start 400 years behind in the game, you can't have enough bootstrap to pull yourself up to catch up. If the laws don't bring about equity, you cannot do it. And don't use the rare examples of rich Black folks or billionaire Black folks. It ain't a lot. All right. All right, just like y'all love to bring up that statistic about it's 13% of Black Americans in the country, but 50% commit the most crimes. Y'all love that statistic. Well, understand that that statistic goes in all other realms too. Because of that, because of socioeconomic status and discrimination and oppression and all those things, and because of being 400 years behind in the game, we couldn't possibly have bootstraps long enough to catch up. Now, have some done very well for themselves and defied the odds and broken glass ceilings? Yes. But when it's 2025 and you still have Black people breaking glass ceilings, that's a whole problem that y'all refuse to acknowledge. But back to that original question. Would you ever tell a Jewish person to get over the Holocaust? Would you ever tell them that they are playing perpetual victim because they still continue to teach about the Holocaust? They still continue to call anti-Semitic things out, such as when Elon Musk did a Nazi salute. Would you ever tell them not to do that? Why can't y'all just get over that, huh? Why does that still bother y'all so much? Would you ever say that? You wouldn't. Maybe you would. Just depends. It's quite a few people out here who are hateful to just everybody. So maybe you would. But in reality, that would get you called anti-Semitic and get you canceled very quickly. There have been celebrities who have said valid critique regarding Jewish folks, and they have been canceled, fired, just called all sorts of things because that is a protected class. They are a protected people. And they have a right to be after the atrocity that their ancestors and people who still live today experience. It's about 120 something Jewish people who were actually in the Holocaust still living. So they have every right to be a protected class. But then why don't Black people get afforded that same protection? Just some questions that I have. Y'all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of y'all day, and I will holler at y'all later.